Yeah, this is just downright evil. A French streamer named Jean Parmenov, real name Raphael Gravin, has passed away in his sleep on stream after this marathon stream that he was a part of, where his friends, and I wouldn't call them friends, they are like actual demons, basically just abused him, beat him, fundamentally tortured him, made him consume dangerous things, and then he went to sleep and died in his sleep. He was 46 years old, and the exact cause of death is currently being investigated. Jean Parmenov was mainly a gamer, and then over time grew a big following and started doing like more IRL streams, and from what I can gather, more like extreme challenges. But what happened during this marathon stream where he ultimately passed away was something that he was not a full willing participant of, as evidenced by what he would say during streams, as well as a text message he sent to his mother just days before his death. He allegedly sent this to his mom shortly before he passed. "Hey mom, how are you? I'm sick of this game. It's gone way too far. I feel like I'm being held hostage by their awful concept. I'm exhausted. I want to leave, but the other guy won't let me. He's holding me hostage." The other streamers involved here are trying to claim they had nothing to do with it, and then even posted some very heartfelt messages about his passing and how much he meant to them. But if you watch any of the footage, and I don't know what I can and can't show you here because it is actually torturing this guy, and then he eventually dies, like, if you just watch that, it's very clear this isn't a man they respected. This is someone they treated like a human punching bag.
On t'écoute.
Ouais, ça va. J'ai jamais touché vraiment. Vraiment. Genre là. Allez, arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, Safine, arrête. Oui. Arrête.
Ah, il me prend, putain.
Safine, arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, tu vas mourir.
I've seen a few news sources showing these clips, so I'm assuming that these are okay to show. Not that any of it is okay, it only gets worse from here. But as far as what they did to this man and the abuse that he endured, this is like the lowest level of it. Not that there's a such thing as diet torture, there's no such thing as like a tasteful amount of torture, but as far as like clips I can show you of just how awful it was, this is, I think, the limit of what I'm allowed to show. It is shocking that it went on for so long. Like, this was not just like a one-time thing, this was a recurrent gag on their streams where they bring Jean in and then they all just turn into like the toddlers from Weapons and start like ripping at him, beating him, insulting him. Like they really treat him like their prisoner, like a dog's chew toy or something. It is foul. And they have the audacity to claim that they did nothing and that they are blameless in this death. Like, oh, it was just such an unexpected tragedy that he passed away. No one could have seen it coming. I think any sensible person will look at all of the evidence that they themselves filmed on stream and be able to say with high level of confidence that they definitely had a hand in his untimely death. Two of the streamers directly involved in this have made statements where they're trying to put on this facade of grief, but I don't buy it at all. The first comes from Naruto, which is a wild name for a piece of shit like this to have. It's been a while since I've seen the show, but I don't recall Naruto ever being a huge advocate for torturing innocent people. Anyway, his statement says, "I've always dreaded writing these words. Sadly, last night, JP, Raphael Gravin, left us. My brother, my sidekick, my partner, 6 years, side by side, never letting go. I love you, my brother. We will miss you terribly. Please respect his memory and don't share the video of his final moments. For his family and for us, his second family, rest in peace." A bunch of words there, and I don't believe any of them. All of these words are once again more meaningless than mahoganize, and that's a word that I completely made up. This is hollow when you look at how they treated this guy for so long. It wasn't just the physical abuse that Jean Parmenov, Raphael Gravin, endured. It was the mental abuse. They would all, like, from what I can tell, they were even doing their best to, like, keep him from sleeping. They were, like, strangling him as well, which, of course, is physical, too. But, like, there was significantly more than just the physical stuff they were doing to him to mistreat him and abuse him and dehumanize him. It was terrible. It was truly terrible. Like, obviously, I'm not going to show any more from the stream, but do you want to know how they went to check if he was still alive? Well, when they thought something might be a bit awry, they threw a bottle at him. They just threw a bottle at his body, and then they went over and started slapping him to try and see if he'd wake up, but he was still unresponsive. So that's when it dawned on them that he had died in his sleep, on stream, right next to all of them. There is nothing that I have seen here that leads me to believe they genuinely cared about this guy. I think it's very clear Raphael Gravin very much cared about them and wanted to be their friend, and to me it seems like they exploited that. They manipulated him into being the butt of the joke for these humiliation streams. That's what these were. They were humiliation streams that they roped Raphael Gravin into agreeing to, and it seems like they were just dangling this carrot of friendship in front of him. And like all of the attention that it was gathering, it seems like they were holding over his head like, oh man, we need you here, JP. We need to, mistreat you on stream, but just know we love you. This is all part of, the joke here for the audience. We're all in on it. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you. That's what it seems like to me from everything I have seen here. And this has gone on for a really long time. It really seems like at no point did they actually respect JP or treat him like a friend. He was simply the catalyst for their humiliation streams. Because of him, they were able to get a lot more eyeballs and make a lot more money off humiliating and abusing this guy that they never actually really viewed as a friend. That's what it looks like to me. Now, all of this was broadcast on Kick, and it went on for a long time. Not only this 10-day marathon, but a lot of the other abuse that happened prior also broadcast on Kick, and at no point were they ever, reprimanded or shut down, according to sources. So a lot of attention is now turning towards Kick about, how they handle illegal shit like this. So our priority is to protect creators and ensure a safer environment on Kick. All co-streamers who participated in this live broadcast have been banned pending the ongoing investigation. So they didn't ban until after JP's death. Now, this kind of thing has happened on Twitch before. This isn't exclusive to just Kick. This has happened on YouTube streaming before as well. There was a streamer a while back on YouTube who literally murdered his girlfriend on stream. This is unfortunately something that has happened on other streaming platforms, and I understand that it can oftentimes be hard for a company to proactively get involved and stop something from happening before it happens, preventing a tragedy. This isn't fucking Minority Report here with Tom Cruise able to, see the future or some shit. They couldn't prevent it in some of those cases, but this one's a little different because a big source of their content was mistreating JP on stream. Strangling him, beating him. That was a big piece of their content for a while, even before, all of this blew up and he passed away. I feel like at some point Kick could have absolutely been alerted to that and taken action. And Kick does have a history of letting criminal activity fly unpunished for a while. There is a streamer that I have talked about numerous times who has literally fucked a prostitute on stream on Kick in front of a child on stream and still was never banned for that. And that wasn't even the first time that he fucked a prostitute on stream. But that was the first time he did that while a child was literally in the room while he had sex with that prostitute. Still, never banned. Kick has been very loosey-goosey with their enforcement of their own policies, where they will let criminal activity fly for way too long. So that is something I think they really need to get under control. Kick has been growing a lot recently, and I think if it wants to continue to grow, it needs to take shit like this far more seriously. Before something like this happens. I feel like day one of JP being abused during this 10-day marathon, Kick could have come in and just put the kibosh on it. I'm not saying that would have saved his life or anything like that. Of course, there's no way to know. But if Kick would just be a little more mindful of trying to prevent illegal activities from being broadcast on there, it'd be really helpful not only to the platform, but to people like JP, where if his friends weren't receiving such monetary incentive to keep humiliating and abusing him, if they had been banned by Kick, well, maybe they would have stopped. But when they get to do an entire 10-day marathon of a bulk of the content revolving around, like, fundamentally torturing this guy, well, then it seems like they've got the green light to keep doing it, and they made a lot of money doing it too. And I already know the defense that a lot of people will use here about Kick has grown a lot, so there's a lot of buns in the oven. They can't keep track of every stream every single time. And I recognize that to a certain extent, but this was a big stream for them. Like, this is something that I think would have been on their radar in some capacity, and given Kick's history of just letting like really degenerate and illegal shit fly for a while, I think there's a chance they knew about this, but just were letting it ride because it was a big stream, and they don't want to be viewed as the platform that's like Weenie Hut Jr., where they'll like ban people willy-nilly. Which again, I get, but when it comes to like torture and illegal shit, there is nothing wrong with stepping in and banning those accounts. In fact, I would argue it's very beneficial for your platform to do that, so that way the perception of Kick as a whole isn't like a lawless wasteland where criminals go to broadcast illegal shit. And it seems like the user base would like Kick to do more in cases like this. Aiden Ross made a statement where he mentioned that him and Drake are going to be covering the funeral costs for Raphael Gravin, which I think is a very nice gesture. And from what I can tell, it seems like Aiden agrees that Kick needs to do more in cases like this to stop the illegal content from being broadcast on that platform. It seems like it's something the users agree needs to have more action taken on, like stopping illegal broadcasts of crime on Kick. Now, to go back to the actual individuals involved in the abuse of Parmenov, one of the lawyers for them has come forward and said that the victim had cardiovascular problems and that the violence in the videos was acted. All of those scenes are just staged. They follow a script, he said. Actually going back to the classic, it's all just acting. A pretty interesting defense tactic here. I wonder if the text message Raphael Gravin sent to his mother agrees that it was all a script and that it was just acting. It must have been part of it. It was one hell of a script here. This is up there with some of Nolan's best scripts. This is crazy. To claim that the violence was staged and just acted. No, the fuck it was not. You can watch it yourself and see that is not the case. Like, they're trying to pull that meme of Patrick Stewart going to sleep and then saying, wasn't sleeping, just acting, and use it to try and excuse the hand that their clients may have had in the death of a 46-year-old innocent man on stream. It's, again, you can watch the clips yourself. It's pretty infuriating. It's hard to watch, but you can. And it's very clear this was not some script, and that this was not just acting. This is real terror and real abuse that this man suffered at the hands of people he thought were his friends. Now, I do know that there are a couple of clips where Raphael Gravin was playing along with it to a certain degree, where he would kind of lean into like the humiliation / abuse for the sake of like the stream. There are a couple moments of that, but it's very rare. The majority of the majority of it is them like just lashing out and like attacking him or making him do things against his will, and it's not scripted. Very clearly not scripted or fully agreed upon. So I think that is a very weak defense. I guess we'll see if the French courts agree, but I really think you can say with high confidence that this stream and these streamers did play a role in what ultimately happened to Raphael Gravin. They may not have directly killed him or anything like that, but I do think everything they put him through for such an extended period of time had a real role to play in what happened. It's sickening. This stream was hard to watch the clips from. It was brutal. Anyway, I had to talk about it a little bit. It's just so fucking crazy. That's really about it. See ya.